Bagfuel, baby.
Yeah. What did it
Loved
take?
it.
Because it's a Caribbean country.
Yeah.
So my mom tried to run for mayor in her town in Haiti.
Okay.
And the corruption game that's how you're gonna win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did you deal with that? Because it's a different type of entity in the Caribbean versus.
Yeah, I heard they got a guy named Barbecue running.
Oh yeah, he's going crazy.
Yeah.
A guy named Barbecue.
Barbecue, Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
He's a former cop.
Yeah.
So the first president, he had hired them to rig the votes. So when it was time to pay them back, he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Oh, wow.
And he has military experience. So he said, we're going to take over the town. So all the engineers who couldn't get jobs, they took the bulldozers, they blocked up the roads, they started robbing the trucks for commerce and everything.
Yeah. If Barbecue is leading them, that's bad. That's bad dope. Yeah. Nigga named Barbecue. That's tough.
Yeah.
You should have changed that name. But listen,
but what did you go through? Because people don't understand that journey.
Yeah. Well, now, for me, I was very grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent my time building relationships with the people because it's interesting. Every different stage of my life has been a battle. So when I was trying to get on, it was a battle to try to get on. When I got on, it was a battle to put my music out, because Bad Boy was on its way down.
You sounded like Biggie,
supposedly. People had all types of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you can see the voice hasn't changed, and it's the same baritone. And so I had to fight, for my identity. I had to fight to establish myself and create, a classic album. And then when I was incarcerated, I had to fight, to remain alive.
Stay alive.
And not catch another charge, not lose my sanity, and just make it out, in one piece. And then when I went to Belize, I had to deal with deportation. And so I spent my time in Belize. I traveled for a few years. I went to Israel, then I went to Paris, and then I went back home because, I have family and friends and people in the community telling me, things are about to change politically, and we feel like these new leaders, they don't have what you have, and I don't think they have the people's best interest at heart. And so we need a leader like you that has made it, you're self-contained, your success. You don't need politics to get rich. You don't need politics to be famous. And so for me, but even with that, when I took the commitment, all the old guard were like, they wanted me to do it their way, or they just, they already had agreements with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't a part of that agreement. So it was like, where you going? I'll never forget my uncle, who had the seat that I'm in, my mother's brother. The community told me that they wanted me to run because the person that he had to replace him, they didn't want that person. So I went to him, I was like, listen, everybody's telling me they want me to run for the seat. And he's like, oh, that's too bad for everybody because, I already made a promise to my friend. She's going to be the one to take over. So whatever y'all got going on, y'all need to figure that out. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to go to convention and we're going to let the people decide. Fast forward a couple months, my uncle is known for, according to people, to set them up to pretend as if he's going to retire. And then as soon as the elections come, after they did all the work and they've been in the constituency, it'd be like, oh, well, the people don't really want me to go.
So I'm
they love me, so I got to do it for the people. And so he did that to this lady.
Yeah.
And it didn't sit well with the lady. So they had a falling out, and then he called me, hit me. He was like, he didn't tell me what happened, but I got from good sources that's what happened. He was like, oh, well, you can go now. I was like, I didn't really need your permission. I'm already there.
Mm-hmm.
So even when he told me not to be there, he wasn't going to support me, kept being in the constituency. I opened a resource center in the constituency. I outfitted with Apple laptops, and I would have my friends, whenever they visited Belize, whether they're professors or entrepreneurs or whatever, come to the community, talk to the youth, and I just kept doing the work. I started giving out school bags when it was back to school. I started doing, toys when it was Christmas, the holiday time, turkey, and I just started working. So whenever anything was happening, I was there and just keep going house to house, keep meeting the people, keep talking to the people, and just building a relationship with them. And this happened over the last several years until I got elected. Got elected in 2020. And so, but that was a fight because, you know, a lot of people didn't think I would get elected. And my political organization, which I now lead, I wasn't the leader at the time.
Okay.
But I became the leader, which again, people didn't expect. But my political organization lost the worst, one of the worst losses ever. So as a new candidate, you know, there was a possibility that I could have lost because, you know, the country obviously wanted to go in a different direction. But thank God that I put in that work and I didn't take anything for granted. And so I had those relationships. So when it came down to it, people really felt strongly like, man, you know, we can't turn our back on this brother that's been there for us all the time. And then after that, there was a battle being in opposition. You know, we're not in government anymore. We don't have the resources that the people are used to us giving. And then there was like internal power struggles within my political organization. So mind you, I was just a member of the House of Representatives. I had no intention on being the leader of the opposition, being the leader of the political organization. But the leader at the time, I was supporting him. I had a 10-year plan for after he was finished, but he got himself into some trouble. And so, you know, they tried to get rid of him. He survived that. And then like a couple months later, he got himself into trouble again and he had to resign. And then I stepped up and I won, you know, the national convention to become leader, but that was a battle. And then that same guy, you know, he's mad because he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So he kept fighting against me and trying to put other people against me.
He wants to run his corruption.
So it's been a battle, and then obviously the government. You know, I believe they're corrupt. So I have all these forces attacking me.
I'm about to say, you know what? If you trying to be straight, right, and everybody
You're
else
public
is
enemy
freaking
number one.
corrupt, you're not worried about being over there.
Nah, I mean, you know, listen, my life is dedicated to my people, and I don't think in terms of negatives. I think in terms of manifesting the destiny where I want to go. There'll be every reason for you to get up and not do what you're supposed to do today. There's every reason. I never look for reasons not to do what I need to do. I know what I need to do, take whatever precautions, make whatever strategic decisions, and I go and I execute. And, you know, God is in control, but, you know, he renders us creatures that have choices, and we make our decisions, and we curate and manifest the life that we want. But I never think, you know, world champions don't think that they're going to go into the game and strike out. They don't think they're going to go into the game and not score. You know, they go into the game with a beast mentality that they're coming, they're there to win. Like even when Jordan was winning every game, he still came into every game
With the beast mentality.
to eat food, right? So
He acted like he never
mentality.
won before.
That's my mentality.